Hi students, welcome to lesson number 13, Gram Swaraj and evolution of Panchayati Raj system. Gram Swaraj, an idea of the self-reliant village, is a unique concept of rural reconstruction proposed by Mahatma Gandhi much before India's independence, that he developed over a period of times. His concept of Gram Swaraj is considered one of the alternative models of rural reconstruction, whose primary focus is on the holistic development of a society where individuals are placed in the economic system's center. The main objectives of this lesson are to discuss the concept of Gram Swaraj, to discuss about the evolution of Panchayati Raj system in India. Now let us discuss the concept of Gram Swaraj. Gram means village and Swaraj is a Vedic word, means self-restraint and self-rule. So, in simple, Gram Swaraj means achieving self-rule and control by the villages. The concept of Swaraj, according to Gandhi, has two distinct but interrelated concepts such as individual and political. At the individual level, Swaraj is vitally connected with the capacity for dispassionate self-assessment, ceaseless self-purification and growing self-reliance. An individual without conquering the lust within him cannot rule over himself. So, it is essential for each human being to learn to rule over oneself or attaining the ability of self-rule. Swaraj may therefore be rendered as discipline, rule from inside. According to Gandhi, the individual is the center of power, so it becomes essential for each individual to become self-discipline for attaining the self-government, because self-government depends entirely upon our internal strength, upon our ability to fight against the heaviest odds. According to Gandhi, attaining self-discipline will further lead to eliminating all forms of domination, which is a vital component of Swaraj. In Gram Swaraj, Gandhi emphasized the individual dimension because human life is a gift from nature to be used carefully and judiciously. A life was destined to be lived decently and worthily. So, he urged for the individual's mental and moral growth and focused on distributing fruit of development equally among the individuals. Politically, Swaraj implies self-governance in which every individual has self-rule and self-restraint through participation in decision making. Therefore, political adoption of Swaraj means the introduction of a system where the role of the state machinery become less and power lies with people's hand. According to him, a government is considered the best government that governs the least. Accordingly, Gandhi gave more importance to economic relationships between individuals and economic micro groups such as village communities where the state has a minor role in the development process. Gandhian Gram Swaraj is based on certain principles such as human beings' supremacy, full employment, equality, Swadeshi, trusteeship, self-sufficiency and cooperation, Nayi Talim, decentralization, etc. Gram Swaraj is a permanent feature. So, he believed that objectives of Swaraj would be fulfilled when a village would attain Swaraj in all spheres of life such as economic, political, social and cultural. So, the Gandhian Gram Swaraj can be described as non-exploiting, decentralized, simple village economy providing for full employment to each one of its citizens on the basis of voluntary cooperation and working for achieving self-sufficiency in its basic requirements of food, clothing and other necessities of life. Now, let us discuss about the evolution of Panchayati Raj system. The Panchayati Raj system in India is not purely a post-independence phenomena. In fact, the dominant political institution in rural India has been the village panchayat for centuries. In ancient India, panchayats were usually elected councils with executive and judicial powers. Foreign domination, especially Mughal and British, and the natural and forced socio-economic changes had undermined the importance of the village panchayats. In the pre-independence period, however, the panchayats were instruments for the dominance of the upper caste over the rest of the village, which furthered the divide based on either the socio-economic status or the caste hierarchy. The evolution of the Panchayati Raj system, however, got a fillip after the attainment of independence, after the drafting of the Constitution. The Constitution of India in Article 40 enjoined the state shall take steps to organize village panchayats and endow them with such powers and authority as may be necessary to enable them to function as units of self-government. There were a number of committees appointed by the Government of India to study the implementation of self-government at the rural level and also recommend steps in achieving this goal. The committees appointed are as follows: Balwant Rai Mehta Committee, Ashok Mehta Committee, G.V.K. Rao Committee, L.M. Singhvi Committee. Balwant Rai Mehta Committee and Panchayati Raj. The committee was appointed in 1957 to examine and suggest measures for better working of the community development program and the National Extension Service. The committee suggested the establishment of a democratic, decentralized local government which came to be known as the Panchayati Raj. Recommendations by the committee are: number 1, 3-tier Panchayati Raj system, Gram Panchayat, Panchayat Samiti and Jilla Parishad. Directly elected representatives to constitute the Gram Panchayat and indirectly elected representatives to constitute the Panchayat Samiti and Jilla Parishad. Secondly, planning and development are the primary objectives of the Panchayati Raj system. Third, Panchayat Samiti should be the executive body and Jilla Parishad will act as the advisory and supervisory body. Next one is district collector to be made the chairman of the Jilla Parishad. It also requested for provisioning resources so as to help them discharge their duties and responsibilities. The Balwant Rai Mehta committee further revitalized the development of panchayats in the country. The report recommended that the Panchayati Raj institutions can play a substantial role in community development programs throughout the country. The objectives of the panchayats was the democratic decentralization through the effective participation of locals with the help of well-planned programs. Even the then Prime Minister of India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, defended the panchayat system by saying, authority and power must be given to the people in the villages. Let us give power to the panchayats. Now let us discuss about the Ashok Mehta committee and Panchayati Raj. The Ashok Mehta committee was appointed in 1977 to suggest measures to revive and strengthen the declining Panchayati Raj system in India. The key recommendations of this committee are: the three-tier system should be replaced with a two-tier system, Jilla Parishad at district level and the Mandal Panchayat, that is a group of villages. District level as the first level of supervision after the state level. Jilla Parishad should be the executive body and responsible for planning at the district level. The institutions like Jilla Parishad and the Mandal Panchayat to have compulsory taxation powers to mobilize their own financial resources. Now let us discuss about the GVK Rao committee and Panchayati Raj. The committee was appointed by the Planning Commission in 1985. It recognized that development was not seen at the grassroots level due to bureaucratization resulting in Panchayat Raj institutions being addressed as grass without roots. Hence, it made some key recommendations which are as follows. Jilla Parishad to be the most important body in the scheme of democratic decentralization. Jilla Parishad to be the principal body to manage the developmental programs at the district level. The district and the lower levels of the Panchayati Raj system to be assigned with specific planning, implementation and monitoring of the rural developmental programs. Post of District Development Commissioner to be created. He will be the Chief Executive Officer of the Jilla Parishad. Elections to the levels of Panchayati Raj systems should be held regularly. Let us discuss about LM Singhvi committee and Panchayati Raj system. The LM Singhvi committee was appointed by the Government of India in 1986 with the main objective to recommend steps to revitalize the Panchayati Raj system for democracy and development. The following recommendations were made by the committee. The committee recommended that the Panchayati Raj systems should be constitutionally recognized. It also recommended constitutional provisions to recognize free and fair elections for the Panchayati Raj systems. The committee recommended reorganization of villages to make the Gram Panchayat more viable. It recommended that village panchayats should have more finances for their activities. Judicial tribunals to be set up in each state to adjudicate matters relating to the elections to the Panchayati Raj institutions and other matters relating to their functioning. All these things further the argument that panchayats can be very effective in identifying and solving local problems, involve the people in the villages in the developmental activities, improve the communication between different levels at which politics operates, develop leadership skills, and in short help the basic development in the states without making too many structural changes. Rajasthan and Andhra Pradesh were the first to adopt Panchayati Raj system in 1959. Other states followed them later. Though there are variations among states, there are some features that are common. In most of the states, for example, a three-tier structure including panchayats at the village level, panchayat samitis at the block level, and the Jilla Parishads at the district level has been institutionalized. Due to the sustained effort of the civil society organizations, intellectuals, and progressive political leaders, the Parliament passed 2 amendments to the Constitution. The 73rd Constitution Amendment for rural local bodies, that is panchayats, and the 74th Constitution Amendment for urban local bodies, that is municipalities, making them institutions of self-government. Within a year, all the states passed their own acts in conformity to the amended constitutional provisions. Now let us discuss about the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1992. The significance of the Act. The Act added Part 9 to the Constitution, the panchayats, and also added the 11th schedule, which consists of the 29 functional items of the panchayats. Part 9 of the Constitution contains Article 243 to Article 243O. The Amendment Act provides shape to Article 40 of the Constitution. Directive principles of state policy, which directs the state to organize the village panchayats and provide them powers and authority so that they can function as self-government. With the Act, Panchayati Raj systems come under the purview of the justiciable part of the Constitution and mandates states to adopt the system. Further, the election process in the Panchayati Raj institutions will be held independent of the state government's will. The Act has two parts, compulsory and voluntary. Compulsory provisions must be added to state laws, which includes the creation of the new Panchayati Raj systems. Voluntary provisions, on the other hand, is the discretion of the state government. The Act is a very significant step in creating democratic institutions at the grassroots level in the country. The Act has transformed the representative democracy into participatory democracy. Now let us discuss the salient features of the Act. Number 1, Gram Sabha. Gram Sabha is the primary body of the Panchayati Raj system. It is a village assembly consisting of all the registered voters within the area of the Panchayat. It will exercise powers and perform such functions as determined by the state legislature. Number 2, three-tier system. The Act provides for the establishment of the three-tier system of Panchayati Raj in the states like village, intermediate and district level. States with a population of less than 20 lakhs may not constitute the intermediate level. Third, election of members and chairperson. The members to all the levels of the Panchayati Raj are elected directly, and the chairpersons to the intermediate and the district level are elected indirectly from the elected members, and at the village level the chairperson is elected as determined by the state government. Reservation of seats for SC and ST. Reservation to be provided at all the three tiers in accordance with their population percentage. For women, not less than 1/3 of the total number of seats to be reserved for women. Further, not less than 1/3 of the total number of offices for chairperson at all levels of the Panchayat to be reserved for women. The state legislatures are also given the provision to decide on the reservation of seats in any level of Panchayat or office of chairperson in favor of backward classes. Fifth point, duration of Panchayat. The Act provides for a 5-year term of office to all the levels of the Panchayat. However, the Panchayat can be dissolved before the completion of its term, but fresh election to constitute the new Panchayat shall be completed before the expiry of its 5-year duration. In case of dissolution, before the expiry of a period of 6 months from the date of its dissolution. Sixth point, disqualification. A person shall be disqualified for being chosen as or for being a member of Panchayat if he is so disqualified under any law for the time being in force for the purpose of elections to the legislature of the state concerned under any law made by the state legislature. However, no person shall be disqualified on the ground that he is less than 25 years of age if he has attained the age of 21 years. Further, all questions relating to disqualification shall be referred to an authority determined by the state legislatures. Then seventh point is State Election Commission. The commission is responsible for superintendence, direction and control of the preparation of electoral rolls and conducting elections for the Panchayat. The state legislature may make provisions with respect to all matters relating to elections to the Panchayats. Eighth point, powers and functions. The state legislature may endow the Panchayats with such powers and authority as may be necessary to enable them to function as institutions of self-government. Such a scheme may contain provisions related to Gram Panchayat work with respect to the preparation of plans for economic development and social justice, the implementation of schemes for economic development and social justice as may be entrusted to them, including those in relation to the 29 matters listed in the 11th schedule. Ninth point is finances. The state legislature may authorize a panchayat to levy, collect and appropriate taxes, duties, tolls and fees. Assign to a panchayat taxes, duties, tolls and fees levied and collected by the state government. Provide for making grants in aid to the panchayats from the consolidated fund of the state. Provide for the constitution of funds for crediting all money of the panchayats. Then 10th one is Finance Commission. The State Finance Commission reviews the financial position of the panchayats and provides recommendations for the necessary steps to be taken to supplement resources to the panchayat. Then 11th point, audit of accounts. State legislature may make provisions for the maintenance and audit of panchayat accounts. Then 12th point, application to union territories. The President may direct the provisions of the Act to be applied on any union territory subject to exceptions and modifications he specifies. 13. Exempted states and areas. The Act does not apply to the states of Nagaland, Meghalaya and Mizoram and certain other areas. These areas include the scheduled areas and the tribal areas in the states. The hill area of Manipur, for which a district council exists. Darjeeling district of West Bengal, for which Darjeeling Gorkha Hill Council exists. However, Parliament can extend this part to these areas subject to the exception and modification it specifies. The PEZA Act was enacted. 14th, continuance of existing law. all the state laws relating to panchayats shall continue to be in force until the expiry of 1 year from the commencement of this act. In other words, the states have to adopt the new Panchayati Raj system based on this act within the maximum period of 1 year from 24th April 1993, which was the date of the commencement of this act. However, all the panchayats existing immediately before the commencement of the act shall continue till the expiry of their term unless dissolved by the state legislature sooner. 15th, bar to interference by courts. The act bars the courts from interfering in the electoral matters of panchayats. It declares that the validity of any law relating to the delimitation of constituencies or the allotment of seats to such constituencies cannot be questioned in any court. It further lays down that no election to any panchayat is to be questioned except by an election petition presented to such authority and in such manner as provided by the state legislature. Gram Swaraj is a unique concept of rural reconstruction proposed by Mahatma Gandhi. His concept of Gram Swaraj is considered as one of the alternative models of rural reconstruction, whose primary focus is on the holistic development of a society. Gram Swaraj means achieving self-rule. At the individual level, Swaraj is vitally connected with the capacity for dispassionate self-assessment, ceaseless self-purification and growing self-reliance. Politically, Swaraj implies self-governance in which every individual has self-rule and self-restraint through participation in decision making. The evolution of Panchayati Raj system has got a fillip after the attainment of independence. There were a number of committees appointed by the Government of India to study the implementation of self-government at the rural level and also recommended steps in achieving this goal. The committees appointed are Balwant Rai Mehta Committee, Ashok Mehta Committee, GVK Rao Committee and LM Singhvi Committee. With the introduction of 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act 1992, Panchayati Raj system has come into existence in almost all the states in India. This act is a very significant step in creating democratic institutions at the grassroots level in the country. This act has transformed the representative democracy into participatory democracy.